Hey there, Jason Small with United Country Land Pros. I'm here with one of the agents, Bryan Atkins, here on the We Know Dirt podcast. We just wanted to kind of get this deal started, and we wanted to get in here today and talk a little bit about Bryan. I think the other guys had had a chance to do their agent bios and kind of talk, on camera about, who they are, where they come from, and all that stuff. And this is our opportunity to do that with Bryan and get it on our website and on the YouTube channel and things of that nature. And so I guess I'm gonna throw it at you, and you can just kind of give me the background. I know we actually met. I guess I can give you the prelude. We actually met. I don't know, 2016.
Yeah, somewhere around in there.
He came in with his dad and looked at a farm, and I'll let him take it from there. But that's kind of how this started. And anyway, tell us about it.
Oh, so it's been, like Jason said, 7-8 years ago, and I'm from North Carolina originally, and I grew up farming my whole life, and I just loved to deer hunt, had a passion for it, and I was hunting Illinois there for a lot of years and just going on hunting permission ground and all, and then I drew that first Iowa tag, and that's what really hooked me then. So I come up and I hunted Iowa, and I thought to myself that, this is the best thing that I've ever been to. And so the next best thing to me was going to be getting North Missouri. And so I had started looking at some land for sale and all in North Missouri, because back then the land prices seemed relatively cheap for where I was coming from. And so I actually seen a listing that Jason had, and I called him, and that's kind of how this whole thing got going. And I talked with Jason. Actually, he showed me the property that I called on, and then he drove me all the way from the east to the west on the North Missouri-Iowa line. And he showed me the different lays of the land, why this county was priced at this per acre, that county priced at that per acre, and just kind of the difference and a lot of the history of the ground. And I ended up, I think I worked with him for 6 months before we finally pulled the trigger and bought a piece.
Probably something like that, which is funny because in that short amount of time, 2016, the first farm we looked at, a little piece, 20 acres, kind of a tough access deal, probably a pretty good farm really in hindsight. But what do we have it listed for? 2,000, 2,200 an acre, something like that. And what's that farm worth today?
Oh,
it'd bring 4,500 pretty easy. So it's crazy. We're only talking we're only about 8 years removed from that. But anyway, so we looked at some stuff. We drove around. Your dad was with us this first round.
First time it was my buddy.
Okay, Daniel. So, that's right.
Yeah, he drew that Iowa tag with me.
And your dad came back.
He come back with me. He had a shotgun tag in Iowa, and we come up, and during that time he was hunting. But you showed us some land, and we met Dave, one of the other agents, and then that whole week that he was hunting, all I done was drive and study North Missouri. That's all I done.
Yeah.
And so
we looked at a couple farms that you should have bought, as it turns out. But
if we'd have knew what we knew now, I wish I'd have bought every farm I ever looked at.
That's the way it goes. And ended up settling on that 80 over in Putnam County over there north of Livonia. What a great farm. You guys did great on it.
It was. We took that farm, and that's a good example of a farm. Like, if you remember the listing on it, the biggest deer that they had a picture of was like 130-inch 8-pointer.
Maybe.
And they didn't have any trail camera pictures. And whenever we went and looked at that farm, you knew that there was deer there. I mean, all the sign was there. But I didn't buy that farm based off the trail camera pictures. And I kept that farm for 4 years and done a lot of food plot work on it, done some dozer work on it, and turned it into a really good farm. And we killed 165-inch deer on it and killed a couple different 5.5, 6.5-year-old bucks. But that's what got my start.
Yep.
And then fast forward, we started. I was kind of catching on to what this land thing was doing, or what I thought it was doing out here in North Missouri and southern Iowa. And there, within about 10 months, I bought my first Iowa farm right across the line in Atkins County. And so now I had the Putnam County, Missouri farm and that Atkins farm. And and even then, the land prices had went up, probably $300, $400, $500 an acre, something like that. But if we could all go back and know what we knew then, if we knew it now,
makes it pretty easy.
It would have been real easy, and but it kind of got us to where we're at today. So started coming out here a lot, and that first farm that we had bought, it had a little mobile home on it. I was staying in it whenever I'd come out, and started getting friends that would come with me, and they was buying farms, and I was trying to push them all to Jason, because Jason was what I trusted as a realtor, the way he treated me, the time he spent with me, and like I said, I worked with him for 6 months before we ever bought a piece. And good Lord, I'd hate to know how many miles you put on the truck driving us around. And
several, and that's kind of that's the deal. I wasn't trying to sell a farm, and that's kind of our whole basis. We're not just trying to make a sale. It's about finding the right piece for somebody, and then the next deal, and the next deal, and going on down the line. But yeah.
So fast forward some, I had some buddies buying some farms out here, and I'd push them towards Jason, and he was representing them, because like I told them, it's tough coming 1,000 miles to look at a farm for sale. It's a very tough thing to do, and so you got to find a realtor that you trust their opinion, and that that they know what they're talking about. And so with Jason, that's what he was for us. And then it turned into this land thing started going really crazy. They're right pre-COVID, right around COVID, it started going absolutely nuts. Mm-hmm. And we had about a 2-year period there where land prices went up over 100%. And so now that original farm that I had bought for $2,000 an acre to start with made it worth $4,500 now. And that's what, and what was happening was you'd always look for land for sale, and you'd see a new listing. It wouldn't last a couple hours, and it'd be gone. Mm-hmm. And I mean,
gone before it got on the internet. Or gone before you saw it. Yeah,
gone even before it got listed. And so, and also at this time frame, and now this is me speaking. This was before I ever got my real estate license. I was just a buyer, and what was happening was there'd be a farm would get listed, and I would want to know some information on it, and call your realtor, and hey, I like this farm, or he sends me one. Yeah, find out more information on it. And I'm only, again, speaking from experience before I ever had my real estate license, but they wouldn't answer your phone call. Like, they would not. I mean, he could call. I had another buddy, David, who he's licensed in Iowa, and he works with us too now, and he would call on farms for me, and nobody would pick up their phone call. And so then, but as soon as I picked my phone up and dialed from that North Carolina phone number,
people would go to answering.
They'd go to answering the telephone. And then what would happen was I run into the case 2 different times on 2 different farms where I called because they wouldn't answer my realtor's phone calls. And they pretty much told me, yeah, hey, this farm's still available. If you want it, you need to work through me on it. Which, knowing what I know now after getting my real estate license, is not the correct way. That's not how it's supposed to be.
Not very ethical.
And but anyways, so we went through that spell, and then we bought a couple more farms. And Jason finally told me, because we was talking all the time, and he's like, man, you need to get your real estate license, and I mean, as much as you study this ground and all, and I do, I'm infatuated by it. I study it every day. I look 5-6 times a day. I keep up with what's going on, talk to a lot of people, and so that kind of led to, I got my Missouri real estate license, then got my Iowa license, and then made the transition up here, and that's kind of where we're at.
And you and your wife just got out here last week. Moved out a week and a half.
Got out here where we could stay, be here full time, and
still bounce back and forth a little bit, but it's a lot easier to be here than 1,000 miles away to do all the stuff.
It is, and then too, my background's in farming. That's all I've done my whole life, but we just we love the land management and love.
I mean, you kind of hooked up with Tyler.
Yeah,
did a deal or two. Talked to Tyler. He was with another outfit, and ended up. You guys you got your license, and you guys kind of hit it off, and you guys started to partner up and kind of running stuff together now, which works good. Working at teams. Not everybody does that, and it's just such an added value. The way we do things in the office here. We bounce stuff back and forth with the full-time guys. I mean, shoot, we probably talk on the phone 8-10 times a day, with just about what this is worth, that worth, what's going on, and everything else. But so there's a added value there for sure, and like you said, you guys are moving across the line into Iowa, which everybody knows how that works. If you don't live in Iowa, you can't hunt Iowa, so that's kind of the smart thing there. So,
and like anybody that's watching this and all that's interested in any land here in Missouri, Iowa, anywhere, I would like to think that we do as good a job or better than anybody out here. Like, we really put the effort into it. But what I would tell people is this, and this is speaking again not from a realtor but as a buyer. You need to find an agent that you can build a relationship with, that you can trust their opinion on it. And that agent may not be me. It may not be Jason. It may be another agent. But I sure would love to think that it could be us. And, but you need to find one that you trust. You can have them look at a farm and, tell you, yes, one that knows your goals. Is your goals to come out here for a week during rifle season and shoot 140-inch deer? Hey, if that's your goals, there's a lot of farms we can look at for that. If your goal is to come out here and you're an avid bow hunter and you're wanting to target 5.5, 6.5-year-old deer, that narrows the list down some. Mm-hmm. And, you just need to find you a realtor that you can trust and value their opinion, and that's who you need to try to work with.
Yeah, and I think coupled with that too is all things aren't created equal. There's a lot of things on there. Cash rents are a big one. I mean, there's some stuff out there, guys that are farming absolute goat knobs. They play a game, throw the cash rent up there, huge cash rent, rate of returns 3.5%, 4%, 5%, and you get 1 year of that, and the guy's down the road, and so. If one thing, if nothing else, we send some educational stuff out in our mailers about what ground's worth, and it's hard to get to buyers though. If somebody wants to invest in ground, we're talking about our 401ks. You can't stand on your 401k and go hunting, take your kid hunting, and bring your dad hunting and do all that stuff. Well, people want to move their money into land, and it's been appreciating at a rate of 6% since 1952 per year, plus the income off of it, the rate of return. You can do that with land. It's the best investment out there, in my opinion. But you can also get yourself in a bad situation taking bad advice or believe in everything you read in the listing. So it's good to have somebody out there that's going to give you that's the way we see it, is we want to act like we're the buyers. That's through your own, like it's my money I'm spending.
I've been doing this now for just over a year and a half, and we've moved a lot of dirt. We've dealt with a lot of clients and got a lot of clients, and it's so funny because a lot of my clients tell me that they laugh at me and say, you're a different kind of realtor. You try to tell me what I was wrong with the farm not to buy it versus trying to sell me the farm.
Well, the first farm you bought, what did I tell you? You said, let's offer this. What did I tell you?
You told me it was too much.
Yeah, I mean, it just, and it wasn't the way things are going. It wouldn't have mattered what you bought. You could have bought the highest priced piece of ground there was. It wouldn't have mattered. But that's the way we look at it. That's the way we want to do business.
But I tell them all the time, it's hard for me not to look at it like I'm buying it myself, like I'm spending my own money. And the last thing I want to do is I do not want to put someone in a situation where they don't feel comfortable with it, And so when I talk to a client, or the first time they call me, or however I get in touch with them, I always ask them, what's your goals? Is your goal to build a hunting farm? Is your goal to just have an investment? Are you looking rate of return? What are you looking for? And just like what Jason's talking about with the 401ks, now this is just my personal opinion. I call it funny money because you're looking at it on a computer, to where this ground is personally for me been the best investment I ever could have made. Mm-hmm. And not only that, but the memories that I've made on it, So yes, we've made good money on it, called appreciation. We've got some good tillable ground, but to me, it's priceless with the memories.
Mm-hmm. It's like you said, you can't with an IRA or 401k, you can't. Hey, you look at it on there and it's not real until you get the check, and it, there's going to be consequences when you get the check too. Yeah. But and there's some stuff that some avenues to go about to actually make some 401k money. self-directed IRAs and to be able to actually buy land with. It's some stuff we need to do later on in some other podcasts. It's kind of off topic, but get some guys in here to show people how they can move a 401k into buying land.
And like another example too, you don't. Everybody thinks in order to afford a farm that you've got to just be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. It don't work like that. There's a lot of ways out here to leverage and be able to purchase farms. And another thing, like right now we're going through this crisis with the interest rates. Okay. Really, if you ask my mom or dad, they'll tell you interest rates are cheap right now for what they finance their house at when they build it. But a key thing that some people don't know or may not be aware of, you purchase land, your interest at the end of the year, straight tax write-off for you. Me personally, I'd soon just let the bank pay them the interest and write it off on my taxes than what I would send it to the rich men north of Richmond.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Well, that's kind of, we just want to do a short little video of people that didn't have seen the bio. They go on the website. This is something for them to look at, to know a little bit about our team. I want everybody to kind of know and be comfortable with everybody in our office. And what, you're primarily selling ground. I mean, not saying we don't sell residential stuff, but if you had your rathers, you'd rather sell something like a 50-50 farm, hunting farm, tillable, something like that is dirt is what you're after. And then we've got some agents that focus more, Talia and Sherry and Hillary and some of those that focus more on residential stuff. So, but we'll do a little bit more series wise on bringing some of the agents in and doing kind of bios like this, just visiting back and forth podcast, I guess you can call it. And in the meantime, we're going to do some more on some properties. We got some new just listed we're going to talk about here on the next scheme and go from there. So in the meantime, you can check us out at our website, www.weknowdirt.net, or you can give Bryan a call. And what's your number, Bryan?
910-690-7610. And you can check us out on Facebook, TikTok. Tyler and I, we've got a TikTok account, Facebook account, and we are your Midwest connection.
There you go. All right, we'll see you.